Welcome to Business Live. I'm Mark Croskery. In BL tonight, first up, we got the company making big moves, continuing to make huge moves, Tesla. So talk about taking advantage of their stock price soaring. So they've come out and talking about here an additional potential stock offer. That's $5 billion of stock. Make no joke about that. That's a huge amount of money that we're talking about here. Now next up, Bridgewater Associates, world's largest hedge fund. Interesting call here, coming out with breaking headlines here, talking about that the US, to keep itself going, to keep moving. Bridgewater saying in their analysis, their chief investment officer, the US will need more stimulus. Coming out with even a range here, but even with a range, quite specific figures, 1.3 to 1.7 trillion US, and the spending needs to be specific just to keep the US going. And really saying in their opinion that if they don't see that, they could see massive credit tightening and how that can impact the overall kind of markets and the US economy. Zoom Video Communications, we carried this on Business Live, just recently talking about their blockbuster earnings, second quarter earnings. Well, on those results, stock price up 41%. Adding, $37 billion of market cap, to keep up with some of these market caps now, we'll be tracking Amazon, tracking a lot of stocks, talking about, not just the market caps, but the wealth for some of these entrepreneurs. Well, in this case now, adding market cap, immediately with the stock price being up 41%, $37 billion of market cap. Paramount Trading coming up with some nice stuff here. They've had some more action items recently. Their corporate governance policy now published on the JSE website, jamstockx.com. You can go on that anytime, log on, and the corporate governance policy covers tons of stuff. Directors, the audit committee. So this is roughly a 15-page document, one of the longer ones that we've seen. Signed off by 2 directors here or so. So great to see Paramount taking some corporate action items, being involved there and getting this out. We've seen a couple of companies, as we've carried on Business Live, getting their corporate governance policy published and out on the JSE website. Last up, Fontana Limited coming out with their audited results 2020, and that's 2020 versus 2019, and this is for the year in June. Now the numbers, the earnings per share, the EPS, a bit down, when you just look at it, but if you dig down into some deep analysis, the numbers, you normalize them, you look at them, the earnings per share are actually pretty good. EPS, if you just look at it, 22 cents versus 26 cents, but there's a line item here. A lot of stuff is, clunked into this line item. We don't really like it. It's like finance expense. We're seeing like some leases, some FX losses, a couple of things instead of just maybe interest expense. That's something that we probably think could be broken out. So you got to jump down to the footnote. If you normalize that, although there is some stuff in there that has to be in there, they could have done 30 cents, maybe 35 cents. So the results are actually way better once you dissect them, really go into them. So it's a nice year end by Fontana despite COVID-19. So look at those results, look at the footnotes. It's a good reminder. Dig down into the footnotes as an investor. I'm Mark Croskery. This is Business Live.